In this video, we'll take a look at working with tree containers. Tree containers are a new container type in Genero version 2.20. A tree container is like a table container, but the first columns are used to display a tree of nodes. You'll notice in this example, there is a tree view container, a tree container at the top here, and a standard table down at the bottom. Now, when working with or learning about tree containers, it's helpful to think about them as you think about tables and the way in which you work with tables. The only difference is that you'll have some additional columns that are used to manage the different levels as well as the expanding and collapsing of the table information. The basic steps for creating a tree view or a tree container and working with it are to first define the tree container in a form. If we look at this little example, we have simply a very simple form with a tree container defined. The next thing is to define the array or an array to hold the tree data. So in your 4GL code, you're going to have a definition of an array that's going to be mapped to this particular tree container. Then you're going to fill the program array with rows just as you would with any other array. You're going to load your array with data, and then you're going to display the array to the tree view container, to the container that's going to house that. So the first step again is to define the tree container in the form. Here we can see that simple little form that has a tree container defined. Notice that it has only one column. The one column has to be an edit column, and that particular column is just simply going to display information, the text and the information about that particular node in the tree. Down below you'll see that the additional fields are actually identified or defined here, the parent ID, the ID, and has children. But there is a new form type that you can use, form field type that you can use called phantom. And phantom allows you to define a field but not show it to the user. So as you'll see here at the bottom, we have a screen record defined, and the screen record is for this tree container. And the screen record has all four of those fields defined as a part of it, but only one of them is going to show. The other three are phantom. Now, phantom fields can be used outside of usage of a tree container as well. They are a new a field type that can be very useful, especially for mapping screen records to program records. The other part that you see is some attributes related to the tree. The tree has some attributes such as image expanded and image collapsed, so that you can identify and customize the type of image that you want to show the user when the node is expanded or collapsed. And also for individual leaf nodes, you can determine what you want for that particular image. The is node column equals has children indicates that we are going to be working with the value there, has children, so that we can actually load this array dynamically and identify for a particular node in the tree if it indeed has children or not, and that will help us with the loading and the displaying of the data. So once we've defined our tree container and we've identified the attributes for it, the next thing is in the program itself to define an array. Now here we're simply defining a dynamic array, and notice again that it has the same columns, the same information as was in our screen record, and these are required. We're going to need this information in order to manage the tree view in our code. The last two steps are simply to fill and display the array. So filling the array will be just like any other time that you are loading an array or filling an array. And you'll be working in a for each loop, maybe with a cursor set that you're passing data to the array, or perhaps you're inserting elements, appending elements, using those methods to build that array of data. Then once you have your array filled, you can display it, and you can display the array to the screen record or the tree container there. So this code here, display array bill of materials list to the tree view screen record dot star. So we're just mapping that just as we would any other mapping of any array to a screen record.